Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Joan Vassos and Chalk Chapel have faced intense public scrutiny after their engagement on The Golden Bachelorette. When Joan, 62, decided to appear on Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor, she probably had no idea how dramatically her life would alter. Falling in love on an unscripted reality dating program was a life-changing experience. Joan transformed from being a private person to letting everyone know everything about her romantic life. Understandably, she is grappling with the great pressure of public scrutiny. Joan was cast as the first female star in the Bachelor spin-off after her relationship with Jerry failed. Joan began The Golden Bachelorette Season 1 outside the renowned Bachelor house. Chalk, a 60-year-old insurance executive from Kansas, was one of the 24 single golden males she had dated over the season. Joan loved Chalk from the moment they met, so it wasn't a surprise when she handed him her final rose. The couple got engaged and rode into the sunset together. Since revealing their relationship to the world, they have faced considerable scrutiny. Joan's life was very different before she joined the casts of The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette. She was an administrator at a private school in Rockport, Maryland. Joan's life has changed dramatically when she joined Bachelor Nation. She is not a well-known figure with a significant social media following. Joan presently has 189,000 followers on Instagram, while Chalk has 80,000. Though Joan was aware of what she was getting into when she agreed to go on the show, it is likely that it will be a significant adjustment for someone who was used to live in relative obscurity. Joan and Chalk have been quite open about their love. Starting a love relationship later in life presents unique hurdles, and fans have shown a want to read more about their path. Being so accessible has its drawbacks. Joan recently admitted on Instagram that she reads the comments under her social media posts, which makes her anxious. Fans sent comments on Joan's article, expressing their love and support for The Golden Bachelorette. "So sad how negative and hateful people can be so mean," read one comment. Others were more vocal in their recommendations to Joan. "Block them, and they can put their negativity somewhere else," commented another commenter. "People who post rude negative comments must have a horrible life and need to grow up and be an adult." Though blocking any unpleasant poster may not be the best option, Joan should probably refrain from seeing the comments on her posts. Joan has gone through so much throughout the years. Joan Vassos died in 2021, which flipped her life upside down. Her husband of 32 years died of cancer. Joan had always anticipated to grow old with her best friend, but she had to pick herself up off the floor. She never expected to be dating in her 60s, but she made the most of it. If Joan had recovered from the tragedy of her late husband's death, the Instagram comment section would be no match for The Golden Bachelorette. Joan Vassos never imagined that her life would unfold so dramatically in her early 60s. She had lived a quiet, purposeful life for decades, a respected administrator at a private school in Rockport, Maryland, a loving mother, and a devoted wife to her late husband Joan Vassos. When Joan passed away from cancer in 2021, Joan's world fractured in ways she could never have predicted. The grief of losing her partner of 32 years hollowed her spirit, and the future that had once seemed so steady and certain was suddenly a fog of unknowns. She withdrew into the comforting routine of her community, her family, and her memories, never expecting that the next great chapter of her life would begin with a reality television show. It was her daughter who had initially nudged her toward The Golden Bachelor. Joan had watched the Bachelor franchise casually over the years, never dreaming she'd be a part of it. But something about the premise of The Golden Bachelor, a show that offered love and second chances to people later in life, felt both terrifying and oddly appropriate. She was hesitant. How would it feel to open up on national television? To lay bare the most intimate corners of her heart? But perhaps more than fear, there was a flicker of curiosity. What if this wasn't the end of her story, but the beginning of a new one? Her journey on The Golden Bachelor was brief but transformative. Although her connection with Jerry Turner, the season's lead, didn't blossom into a lasting relationship, the experience itself lit a new spark within her. She was reminded of her capacity for connection, her ability to feel excitement, nervousness, even butterflies again. It was that experience, and the overwhelming support she received from fans, that led ABC to make a groundbreaking announcement: Joan Vassos would be the very first Golden Bachelorette. Stepping into the lead role was unlike anything Joan had ever experienced. Her days as a private school administrator had prepared her for leadership, organization, and mentorship, but not for the glamour and intensity of reality TV. Gone were the quiet, predictable days of grading exams and managing teachers. Now she was having her hair and makeup done daily, filming 12-hour days, and navigating relationships with 24 charming, charismatic men, all vying for her heart. And amid that whirlwind, she met Chalk Chappell. Chalk, a 60-year-old insurance executive from Kansas, didn't come in with flashy entrances or rehearsed lines. He was grounded, sincere, and possessed a gentle confidence that immediately put Joan at ease. Their first one-on-one date took place in a vineyard outside Los Angeles, where they bonded over their shared experiences of love, loss, and family. Joan, who had feared she'd never again feel a deep emotional connection, found herself laughing, blushing, and opening up in ways she hadn't since her husband's passing. Throughout the season, Joan's connection with Chalk deepened, standing out even as other suitors made their play. Their chemistry was apparent to everyone, from fellow contestants to viewers at home. As the weeks passed, their bond evolved from tentative flirtation to a tender, budding love. When the final rose ceremony arrived, no one was surprised to see Joan choose Chalk. Her speech was heartfelt, her voice trembling with emotion as she spoke about the unexpected joy he'd brought back into her life. Chalk dropped to one knee, presenting her with a ring as golden and hopeful as the moment itself. And with that, they became one of Bachelor Nation's most beloved couples. But the fairy tale didn't end there. In many ways, that moment was only the beginning. In the weeks following the finale, Joan and Chalk were thrust into a media frenzy. They made the rounds on morning talk shows, posed for magazine spreads, and answered endless questions about their plans for the future. Though they had expected some attention, neither had anticipated the extent to which their lives would change. Joan, who had just months earlier lived in quiet anonymity, now had a growing Instagram following that soared past 189,000. Chalk's own presence climbed to 80,000 and counting. Strangers stopped them at airports and restaurants, asking for selfies or sharing stories of how Joan's journey had inspired them to take risks in their own lives. While the attention was flattering, it also came with complications. Joan had always been someone who valued her privacy. The sudden exposure made her feel vulnerable in ways she hadn't anticipated. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.